Several decades ago in the 1970s, the city of Erie cleared out a dilapidated cemetery not far from Peach and Liberty Streets. All the gravestones were taken away to a dump. Two men worked hard to once again honor those who are buried there. A monument was dedicated in 2001. However, not everyone buried in the cemetery has their name on that stone. John Last brings us another piece of Erie history in this edition of The Last Week.
This is the Polish Cemetery on Merline Avenue. There used to be many gravestones here, but the property was neglected between the 1940s and the 1970s, and it became an eyesore. The cemetery was owned by St. Mary of Czestochowa Church, which was located at East 21st and Wallace. The church, which was not associated with the Erie Catholic Diocese, closed in 1939. Upkeep of the cemetery abruptly ended. Throughout the years, gravestones were uprooted and vandalized. The cemetery was overgrown with weeds. In 1972, Mayor Louis Tullio took action.
Well, a lot of Tullio's cronies were up there, and they thought looked kind of ugly. So he sent his crew up there with a high lift and a dump truck and scraped all the stones off, picked up all the debris, and they took and dumped it.
Tom Doyle's grandparents are buried at the cemetery. He's still upset with Tullio for dumping the old gravestones. He remembers visiting the cemetery as a youngster. So, as an adult, he and local genealogist Dick Teft spent 6 years going through old obituaries on file at the library. They tried to identify all those buried at the old Polish cemetery. Their work resulted in this monument being placed at the site. The monument was financed by the Joyce Savacchio administration and was dedicated in 2001.
We had a stone made for the very front of it with all the names that we could find that are buried there, and I know there's probably many other people that are buried there that we have no records of.
Antoinette Peasy and her brother Joe Kludzinski have been on a quest to find where 3 of their relatives are buried. They are carrying out the desire of their late father to find the graves of his 3 siblings, a 6-year-old brother and a 5-year-old sister who died in 1918 of the Spanish flu, and an infant brother who died a year later. Could it be that they are buried here and not memorialized on the monument?
We need to get a resolution to this because, it's my dad's wish.
We'll try to find some answers in part 2 of this story on Friday. With the last word in Erie, John Last, Erie News Now.
And there was one gravestone that was returned to the old Polish cemetery. It was found a few years ago by children at a former city dump site off of Old French Road by the Mercyhurst ball field.